living world is an interesting and vast topic covering ecosystems and species, as well as species and ecosystems' interactions with each other and with humans. First, we have to understand what biodiversity is. Biodiversity is the variety of living organisms that can be found on Earth. We can view biodiversity on different levels, these levels being ecosystem, habitat, species, and genetics. Ecosystem diversity refers to the variety of ecosystems on Earth. Habitat refers to the diversity of different habitats in a given area. Species diversity is the variety of organisms in a space. Genetic diversity is the different genetic material that is present for a certain population in a given area. There are different ways for biodiversity to be measured. We can look at the species richness versus species evenness to determine the biodiversity of an area. Species richness is the variety of species in an area, while species evenness is the amount of species present in an area. Now we have to understand the role or niches species inhabit within an ecosystem. Species can be generalists or specialists. Generalists are species that can tolerate and survive in a wide variety of environmental conditions and can occupy many niches, while specialists are species that can only thrive in an ecosystem with certain environmental conditions and have a narrow amount of niches they can occupy. In an unstable environment that's going through a lot of change, a generalist will thrive better. For example, raccoons, while specialists will thrive better in a well-established, unchanging environment in which their specific niche is available. For example, giant pandas. Keystone species are also important to know, as they are a species that holds a significant niche in an ecosystem. Without keystone species occupying their niche, an ecosystem will crumble and many species will begin to decline and die off. An example of keystone species are beavers. Their dam building creates more and necessary habitats for more organisms to thrive in. Species evolve by natural selection, a process in which certain traits that are better for survival, known as adaptations, are passed to future generations because these traits give individuals better fitness or ability to survive and reproduce. These adaptations can include camouflage, body structure, resilience to certain diseases, and tolerance of types of environmental conditions. This process is referred to as evolution, or the gradual change a species experiences over time. There is both micro and macroevolution. Microevolution refers to the evolution of specific populations of species, while macroevolution is a change in an entire ecosystem as a whole. Macroevolution encompasses different types of extinction, these being periodic, episodic, random, and mass. Periodic extinction is extinction events that happen regularly, while episodic extinction occurs semi-regularly, but both can be observed and predicted. Random extinction is unpredictable, and mass extinction is an event that causes a majority of species to be eliminated. There have been 6 recorded mass extinctions, the latest one being the dinosaurs. Some scientists believe we are nearing a 7th human-caused mass extinction.
A species bottleneck occurs when a random extinction type happens and kills off a majority of species, leaving the remaining population with a smaller gene pool and smaller genetic diversity. This can be seen in the cheetah population, as evidence shows that almost every cheetah has basically identical genes, pointing to a smaller gene pool that occurred due to a population bottleneck. Now, knowing how individual species operate, we can learn and understand how these two operate in relation to each other. Organisms will have a specific ecological tolerance, or the ideal conditions they thrive in. These conditions can include ideal temperatures, sunlight, salinity, or pH levels. Generalists will have a wider range of ecological tolerance, while specialists will have a narrow range of ecological tolerance. There are species resistance and resilience. Resistance refers to a species or population's ability to withstand environmental changes. This can be seen in like a forest fire, how fire-resistant plants will be able to withstand the fire while other species will be killed off. Resilience refers to a species or population's ability to adapt to environmental changes. Resilience in this forest fire scenario could be seen when fire-resistant plants and other plants are able to repopulate quickly. There are different kinds of succession, primary or secondary. Primary succession is the process of moss and other organisms beginning an environment on land that has never previously been occupied by organisms, while secondary succession is the process of organisms beginning to populate an environment on land that had already had environments live there but that had previously been eliminated. Island biodiversity is the variety of organisms on a specific island. There are two different ways biodiversity is measured on islands, and it is determined by the distance from mainland and size of the island. If an island is bigger or closer to the mainland, it will have a higher biodiversity, while smaller or far away islands will have less biodiversity. Now we will talk about the different ecosystem services, which are the ways that humans utilize or are aided by our surrounding environments. There are 4 different ecosystem services: provisional, regulating, supporting, and cultural. Provisional services refer to the resources humans directly use from environments for different purposes. Examples could include wood, food, or water. Regulating services are services provided by the ecosystems that regulate aspects of the environment. These examples can include air and water purification. Supporting services support the other services and allow them to happen. This can include processes such as nutrient cycling and soil formation. Cultural services are the ways humans use environments for personal, religious, or cultural significance. These ways can be in recreation, aesthetic value, or spiritual experience. There is also aquaculture, which is the use of aquatic organisms through fishing and farming of aquatic plants. Biodiversity and the living world is vital to be understood, and it is even more important that we understand how we, as humans, use the environment to our advantage and for our benefit and pleasure. By being able to understand the environmental world around us, we can better understand our actions and the effect they have on the environment, and can be more conscious and act accordingly to help our living world around us.